Johnson Chan, and good morning. It's actually 7:07 a.m. where I am. I actually went to bed pretty early last night, and then I just woke up as well, so feeling very good. And I need to call my EU lawyer, just check up on him, make sure everything's in order, and then, start the process of filing an opposition to the PRIX trademark in the EU. Hmm. Very, very irritating, but what are you gonna do? Besides, I'd imagine this is actually gonna be a pretty common problem I have to deal with. So I would have preferred to maybe do this much later in life, but I don't get to pick and choose everything. All right, so I literally just fired up Brave. So let's just take a look at what's actually going on here. Because I'm probably just going to do a quick video and then, get back to work. Because I actually found that there's actually a multiplayer blueprint course on Udemy, and it's exactly what I need. Like it's got like some features that was not covered anywhere else, like especially a class switching system, which is actually going to be a big thing in my game as well. Because I want people to either pick a class or maybe switch mid fight to add more tactical decision making. So it's going to be very, very interesting. All right, so we've got, all right, so the stock markets seem to be getting ready to open a little higher. Crude oil is actually down, so that's not good. Well, for the markets anyway. Okay, and then let's see, and the dollar is actually weaker, so this is good. So what are the bonds actually doing then? Okay, so I'm getting some little mixed bond yields. So it looks like it's just going to be a profit-taking day today. And people do seem a little bit nervous for some reason, which is funny because Susan Collins, right, the fake Republican senator from, I think, Maine. I know who she is because she's like always like fake. Well, fake conservative anyway. And she hates Trump, of course. She said that this week they'll likely pass the infrastructure bill. And depending on who you want to read on the dissident right, they said the Congress says it'll be 550 billion or 1 trillion. It's really going to be 2 to 2. It's going to be 2 to 10 trillion, which is just great because I want the money to hyper pump. I mean, that's probably a big reason why the dollar is actually going down right now. Like the combined 1-2 punch of the so-called infrastructure bill plus the Federal Reserve constantly printing money. Well, yeah, the value of your dollar is going to go to shit. And that's basically what we're seeing, which means everything's going to have to go up. Now, with that being said, what's up with crypto? Well, it was basically 10 days or so of straight gains. So there has to be a pullback, and I think that's what we're seeing here. Now, I'm kind of hoping it's not going to pull back too much. Though, technically, it's better that way because then it'll keep going up. But, I mean, Bitcoin and crypto has already been hit so many times. Like, I rather it just keeps going straight up. But aside from that, everything actually looks pretty good. I mean, even Pancake Swap is at like 16 bucks and like 11 cents, right? Despite this current little mini pullback, I'm calling it, because it's not that bad. And the 24-hour volume is still very solid, 84.4 billion. I'll read chat in just a second. Now, with that being said, well, this is looking good too. Now, today is August 2nd, so German hedge funds are now allowed to spend up to 20% of their entire portfolio. This is a brand new law and it's taking effect today. 20% of their holdings in cryptocurrency. So no doubt that German hedge funds are getting in on Bitcoin and crypto. Now, how much, we'll just have to see, but this does look a little bit like the buy the rumor, sell the news. So right now we're in the sell the news cycle of what's going on. But overall, July wasn't the greatest, but it still was a very good month, right? Bitcoin was at its lowest in July, 29,400, and it basically ended at 42 grand. So we're looking at a 50% increase in Bitcoin for July. So I'd say that was actually a pretty strong month for July, which I predicted at the beginning of July, but I was kind of thinking and hoping Bitcoin would be ending at like, near the all-time high of 64 grand or whatever. But I'll take what we can get. So hopefully August should be better, a lot better. Preferably, I would prefer that it just goes straight to like 150K. Where's the chart? Yeah, goes to like 150K to 250K. But we're gonna have to see, like, because in the next, say, 4 or 5 weeks, Bitcoin has to go not only match the stock to flow value of basically 110 grand, it has to go a little bit beyond that before dipping a bit during Labor Day weekend. That's a pretty tall ask, even for Bitcoin. But again, we'll see how it goes. I just know that August is going to be a decent month for Bitcoin, right? And of course, crypto. But I wanted to go higher, right? Especially now that I'm going to need some money to, keep filing trademarks and all that good stuff. All right. So I haven't looked at the Bitcoin hash rate in a while, but yeah, you can see a massive jump in hash rate, which makes sense because Bitcoin was also going up like crazy. So there's like a massive financial incentive to, hey, we got to get in and get our mining machines because every other a-hole in the world is getting all the Bitcoins and we're not. So those Chinese miners are working as hard as they can to get their stuff back up and running. So it's looking pretty good, right? So I assume, I'm going to guess that by the end of August, all right, this hash rate should be somewhere around here. So this would be 150.516 million, whatever hash rate this is. So I think that's a fairly modest, decent goal. You were early this morning, yeah. Actually, I just explained it when I fired it up. But yeah, I went to bed at like 10 p.m. yesterday, and then I just woke up. This trademark stuff is really distracting me, but, I'm working through it. I'm doing more silent prayers like Jesse Lee Peterson says I'm supposed to be doing. I think it kind of helps, but it's just a little hard for me in particular because, I really just want to just zoom around and all that stuff. Okay, and then of course, okay. Believe it or not, I actually do hope that, what is it, Laurel Hubbard, that this transgender athlete destroys all the women in the Tokyo Olympics. I actually do hope that. But again, as I've said, I have a very different set of reasons for why I'm supporting transgenders in women's sports. There's a real reason for that. So, but I'm not going to say it because, I don't want to potentially get banned. Right? Because I'm streaming this on YouTube. But in a way, it also kind of doesn't matter because the fault ultimately always lies with the Republicans and so-called conservatives, who are really not Republicans or conservatives. They're just that in name anyway. Okay, alright, so we looked over the hash rate. Okay, I guess we can look at some real quick news, but I don't think there's really anything. There's no reason not to hold Bitcoin for 100 years. Yeah, I suppose. South Korean regulator reportedly shut down 11 crypto exchanges. Well, that's too bad, because South Korea was actually pretty good. I guess up until recently, I guess. Well, that's why we have DeFi, so I guess we don't really care. Brand executive posts discounted Utah home listing for Dogcoin. Huh. Saudi Aramco dismisses false and inaccurate rumors on Bitcoin mining. That's too bad. These people need to get into Bitcoin mining. Square to acquire Australian fintech Afterpay for 29 billion. Probably a lot of it in stock too. I don't think Jack Dorsey would just simply hand over 29 billion over to someone. Former Bitmain CEO Jihan Wu raises fresh capital for a new crypto unicorn. Betting on tax bill FUD. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week. Alright, so I don't actually see anything insane in the news. So I think we'll go with this as a thumbnail. So let me make sure I get this beautifully made clown. Print screen. Just want to make sure I don't forget this. Alright. And then go like that. So, alright, so I mean, this is not, like I said, it's going to be a short video. Because there's not really much to say, right? There's nothing happening. It's also very early in the morning. And on top of that, all the action has already basically been done. So now we just simply... Actually, I gotta save this as a JPEG, otherwise YouTube's going to complain about file size. There we go. So, alright, so let's see what happens this week. We'll have to let this current I hit the recording button, right? Yeah, I did. We'll have to let this little mini pullback, wait and see what happens, and hopefully it doesn't pull back too much, and then it'll continue back up. Because as we can see, crypto prices are actually holding very strong and very steady, right? Bitcoin's resisting pretty hard at like 39,500 and 40K. Binance coin doesn't want to go below 333 or 330 bucks a piece. VeChain is basically almost at its original point where I bought it, which was 9.2 cents. I don't own any VeChain because now I'm in PancakeSwap and Chesscoin and the liquidity token pools on AutoCake. Right? But yeah, again, it's looking good. And of course, PancakeSwap holding very, very well at 16 bucks and 11 cents. Right? In fact, you look at the 7 days for most of these coins, it's still actually up for the past 7 days. So let's take a look. What is Chesscoin? Yeah, Chesscoin is, yeah, for whatever reason, Chesscoin's actually been going down. But I think it's because they're giving away coins or whatever. But it seems like they've been giving away coins for a while. So I mean, even JetSwap has actually recovered a bit. Yeah, it's now back at 54. It went as high as like 66 cents, but now it's back down to 54. So even if stupid coins like JetSwap can come back from the dead, then everything else will come back up. So right now it's basically, I hate to keep saying like everyone else, but yeah, it's technically a buying opportunity. But if not, just buy, hold, and then take your profits. Because I was thinking about holding more of my profits yesterday and wait for this thing to go up. I saw that things were kind of just like resisting and going down a bit. So I was like, oh, this could be a pullback. So I should probably just take my profits. So I just simply pulled out my $200 and converted it into stable coins. And it turned out to be the right move because right now things are, dipping a little bit. Again, dipping a little bit. It's not dropping like crazy, right? So we'll just have to see. But yeah, market setup doesn't look too good this morning, right? But again, let's just see what happens. The most important thing is the infrastructure bill. Once that passes, we should see some. That would actually be a really good reason for the markets and cryptocurrencies to hyper pump, right? When you have anywhere from $1 to $10 trillion just chasing the same amount of crap out in the world, yeah, that's gonna like just make the money printer go brr, right? And of course, look, the dollar, it's dying, right? It's down a lot today. It's only 7:19 a.m. It's not even 9:30 yet, which is when the markets open here in America. So you can imagine what's going to happen. Now, I want to know, what is the riot pre-market? Seriously? Let me see. Yeah, this thing is actually undervalued. All right, whatever. Okay, so I'll be back later this afternoon after markets close. Hopefully, when crypto gets over its little hump, it gets over its little hump, But, all right, that's it. So thanks for watching. See you all either next week or after the markets close later this afternoon.